Alright, so I'd like to talk about some military strategies that were generally used among the yes, some of the military strategies that have been used in Country of Jericho. So, first of all, now I'd like to say that these strategies, which I'm going to talk about, are not the official ones that are used by the of course enforced by Emperor Jericho, nor are these, controlled by like the fleet admiral or the general, right, in Jericho. This is Levi's army, like Levi's army only follow these strategies. Now, first, of course, the basic army arrangement, of course, which you would find at first, is generally called the finger. Now, generally it would consist of a single wizard standing at the back of the line, back behind the lines to cast spells, with a cavalryman ahead of them. Now, this cavalry would generally go around and attack the monster. Let's just like draw something. The monster. Let's just call this the monster. The enemy, whatever. Anyway, so it would run around from behind to attack, of course, but the cavalry would normally stand behind the battery of like archers and infantrymen. Now, this is because cavalry was very important, but even though it was very fast and very mobile, it still could be, of course, exploited by magical users due to the line of sight, right? Line of sight was a consideration in the spell casting of blood, users of the blood power system. And so, like, because of this, they did need to stay behind the shield of the archer or the infantry, and even though they were sitting higher than them, well, even then, if they're close to the wizard can probably cloak them. Now, archers would, of course, also fire, infantry would charge forward, and all in all, this was called, of course, like I said, the finger. The finger, of course. The initial, right? The usual. The first wave. The first, the simplest arrangement. Now, usually Levi would build these out of kobolds. Wizard would, wizard, one of them. Cavalry, a single cavalry. Now, for archer and infantry, there would usually be 6. Now, let's think about that. No, not 6. 3 of each for total of 6. So, you would have 1, 3, 3. Now, that's 8 total in a finger, right? That is the smallest unit that would work together. Now, you might say, about 1 infantry, 1 archer, well, 1 of each. Well, this is not a formation because it is too small. It's too small for it to be a formation. You can't do anything with it. It's just, you don't order around soldiers. This is simply just, this will not complete a general task. Now, you could send out 1 on their own, and sure, that's just a regular 2-person team, but it's not the it's not a full team. It's not a full working together unit that could actually do a military engagement on their own. That's the thing. This is not the mission squads. Mission squads could have a single infantry and a single archer with them. Rather, this is the military formations in a battle. So I should specify this. Battle There, battle formations / units. That is what we are discussing, not anything, not just anything in the military, but battle versions. Now, finger, of course, would be small in the back, wider, followed by this. Now, think about it. Finger. Actually, no. So we have a... Now I should probably do that differently. So, aligned in a line like this. Think about it this way. The joint of the finger, the joint of the finger, the biggest part, which is the cavalry, smaller, archer, smallest, infantry. Now, yeah, like a finger. Now, you might see the wizard. The wizard is the joint of the finger. And this is because the reason why they're the joint of the finger is because generally wizard would lead it. There what connects it to the hand. The hand. Which is another unit. A bigger unit, bigger than the finger. Because while a finger could have 1, and then these two could have up to 3. You could have one of these, two of these, or two of these and one of these. You can have that. That is the smallest unit size for a finger. That is, would be 5 units in total, versus the average of 8. And the most you could have is 1 wizard, 2 cavalry, 5 archer, 5 infantry. That's the biggest you can have for a finger. Now, why is that the biggest, you might wonder? Because that's 13. It's 13 because of the hand strategy, in which you only need to have 2. You only need 2 fingers for a hand method. But usually a hand would have 4. Now, 4 of them. That's usual, but it can have as few as 2. Now think, average finger is 8, times 2 is 16. The biggest finger can have 13. So the biggest finger must be smaller than the smallest hand, because a hand is necessarily a bigger than the finger. Now you might wonder, what happens when there's multiple hands? Well, what do you think happens when you have multiple hands? Think about it. Finger, hand. Now what comes after the hand? The arm. That's what comes after the hand. The arm. I know these are not the same size, but whatever. Generally, you would have, like I said, because you have 4 wizards, followed by cavalry. Usually there's 8. Now 3, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, twice as many cavalry, followed by, yes, you might notice, 1 in a finger, but 2 cavalry are in a hand. 2 times 2 are in each, so there's 8 in a hand. That's twice as many as the wizards. Now this is because, generally for the hand strategy, you do need more fast units, whereas wizards are crowd control, and wizards are, their effectiveness is changed, and it is increased in effectiveness if it has more teammates to work with, and so you don't need to have more wizards. You don't need to have more than 1 wizard, you know, because of course the wizard does command their units. So then in the arm, oh, but I should specify, you can have one cavalry. You could still have 1, 1, 3, 3. You could have that in the whole hand. Even in the arm, you could scale that up again, 3 times that. We have, see, 1 times 4 times 3. What's that number? It's 12. Then we also have 12 of these. 36 archer, 36 infantry in the arm. So, of course, archer, there, written the 3. So now you might wonder, okay, but then, cool, that's just arrangements. I said strategies and arrangements. Yeah. Yeah. See this? The prod. The prod, why? Because that's what you do with a finger. You prod with it. The hand. Now, because this finger has a prod, it goes that way. It pokes forward. Poke, poke. For the hand, you, however, would have... That's awful. That's not a rectangle. Let me try that again. No, for the hand... you have the grip. Because you are grabbing at the thing, you know, you're inward pushing like the way that a hand would grip something, right? That's why it's called the grip, right? I wonder, what about the arm? What does the arm use? The arm takes the grip even further. So that usually the grip could come from, of course, all 4 sides to surround them. But with the arm, okay, I wonder, how would you get more complicated than that? You could poke, you could grip. What could be more overwhelming than that? Take one of these. Note how the angles between these, 90, 90, less than 90, greater than 90. So they, most likely the enemy will escape this way. Okay, they notice the units coming, so they go this way. So what do you think is going to happen? Compression. The compress. Because you are coming in from 2 sides. Your camera. You're pushing them in between 2 waves. 2 hands. 2 hands coming in between. Compression. That is, of course, the next strategy. That is what the arm would use. You might think, okay, but there's only 2 hands. But the arm has 3 hands. Okay? Put half of this. Okay. You have 4 wizards. Okay? 4 in a hand. So you take 6 fingers on one side, 6 fingers on the other. Now I drew 5 arrows. Let's go put in 6 arrows. Boom. 6. Count them on one side, 6, count them again on the other side. And so now you see that the compress, that is how the arm would use. First, okay? Now I should probably just draw like a... The poke comes from a single direction, the grip comes from all sides, and the compress comes from 2. could do exactly what you would expect it to do. Now, you might wonder, okay, these are just simple strategies, simple orders, but where can they be applied? And that's a good question. Now think if the enemy here, when they were gripping, notice how, well, imagine this. What if they were imagine if the enemy was in a corner here. I should probably draw them actually where the arrows are pointing to. Imagine if they were over here, near this corner. Well, they can't really escape. They can't. They can't escape. They're in the corner. They're back into the corner. Yes, I know that the dot is not exactly in the corner, but whatever. They're in a corner. Okay, they're next to the corner. They're probably going to try to escape this way into the corner. But that wouldn't be escaping, they're just moving to the side, escaping from the inevitable, that is the grip that crushes them. So while they could come from all four directions, like in here, they could also use terrain as a corner. Now what would a corner be, you might ask? Could be a wall in a village. Could be. But it doesn't have to be that. It could be, well, river. Two rivers. And where they meet, if one river flows this way and the other river flows this way, and where they meet is, like, it's a corner. Because, sure, the army can cross it, the opposing army that, you know, Levi's Legion is trying to chase down, but, well, it's not going to be that easy. Like, sure, they can cross the river, but it's not, they're not really going to escape that much. It's a river. It still is a barrier that affects them. And so, overall, these were the basic of Levi's Legion, right? The basic formations and strategies of Levi's Legion. And so, of course, all these moves can be more versatile. There can be more, of course, more moves, more strategies, right? That Levi could command, yes. But these are the basic ones that, of course, Levi's officers are taught, right? Wizards usually are the officer units. The poke, and of course you have in the hand, you have one of these four wizards is just going to be probably at a higher officer position. The other four, because promotions do happen, okay? Whoever's the highest, well, or maybe you might even, you know what? You might even call another wizard in to be over back here, and command the four fingers. Just like with the arm, you might command another wizard to command all four of the hands in the arm. Yes, you could do that. That would work pretty well. That would be a distribution trickling down of power. Yeah, that would. I mean, yeah, sure, you could do that. Sometimes they do. Probably, yeah. I mean, Levi probably could pull one of those in. One of his, more elite dragons. Yeah, he could pull in one of the more elite dragon soldiers to command a hand or to command an arm. But in any case, yeah, these are just the basic ones. These are just the basic ones that every officer, every elite dragon soldier is taught. Every elite dragon soldier is taught these formations. And these, of course, grip, the poke, and the compress. Those are the strategies they're taught. So yeah, just tell me in the comment section down below, what do you want to see next? Just tell me. But until next time, of course, stay zesty.